Hello there, YouTube, and welcome to a very comfortable, beautiful 48 degree Monday, May 2nd, 2022. I think it's supposed to get around 60 next week sometime. I think it is. I think that's when summer starts. Not literally, but the weather changes, and just as far as you can see forward, it's like 60s and 70s and up. So it's gonna begin. It's gonna get crazy at work. It's gonna be one of those things where you can ride whenever you want to ride. You get out of this funk season of fall, winter. Well, falls are usually, it's about the time we hit winter it gets really bad. But at any rate, it's a whole lot less pleasing here in Vancouver than it was at home.
I know. I think I'll go back home.
Yeah, it just progressively got worse as we went south.
Now it's just plain yucky.
Yeah, it's just yucky. I didn't wear a hat either.
Oh, you're going to be in trouble.
Yep. That's how I always end up with them new hats. There ain't been no hats. Our hat selection is...
It's kind of thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they got chips in them or something.
Maybe.
Well, Mama?
Yes, Papa.
Monday's rolled right around again.
It has it down.
Go in there and have yourself an awesome one.
Thank you, you too.
No, all right. I'll see you as the day goes on.
Sounds like
All right. Let me see you. Bye.
I love ya.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
So if you... Obviously, this thing must have been picked up used. It's a 2016 R1200R. It's only got like roughly 2,500 miles on it. So I'm assuming he picked it up used, so probably doesn't have any documentation or anything. But I don't know if it's the same person, but someone had called, and somebody was asking me, what do you do if your keyless ride's not working? I said, well, number one, check your fob or use your emergency key, your fob key or your emergency key or wallet key. If I don't know if it's the same person, but they said, yeah, the battery's fine. Well, no, it wasn't. And then the service writer, the customer was showing that even the emergency key is not working. Well, if there's any battery life in the fob and you have that with you while you're using the emergency key, it wigs the thing out. And you know right away, because I got it to work, and I have two key icons showing up on the one with a question mark and one without. So it was seeing the key. I hooked it up to diagnostic, and I was able to read the status of the key, and it says battery condition poor. So I know the radio's working because it sees it. But with the battery being low enough, it's not going to start it. But if the bike is seeing your fob, the fob can't be near when you're using the emergency radio list. They both have the same chip in there, just this one has no radio. It doesn't have the walkie-talkie attached. So I even mentioned to the service writer, I says, you can't have that thing on that fob. He goes, oh, well, he took it off and it still didn't work. I said, where was the key? The fob. It's probably in his pocket. Well, the bike sees it. They wig out. So if you run into a condition like that with a fob and you don't have a spare battery and the fob won't start the bike and the emergency key is acting up, you don't want to leave your fob, 10 or 15 feet away from the bike to test it out. Pop the cover off, take the battery out of your fob, and then use your emergency key. And if you don't have your emergency key, pull the fob battery out. You guys should probably do it with it in there. Set it. You need to know where your aerial antenna is, and it's just under this plastic cover. Just set your fob. I can take the key out of this fob, lay it up there, just like I would do with the emergency key. The bike will start right up. The conflict happens is when there's some battery in the fob and you're trying to use your emergency key and the fob's nearby. There's conflict. You'll have to wave this thing around forever till it finally starts up. They can act really, really weird. But beautiful 1200, huh? So you guys waiting on your 22s? There's all the parts to do the F3. And he says, I got a notification that other things shipped. He goes, but I didn't pay attention what it was. So it's stuff for the RTs probably. So I got the park brake module and the reverse actuator in for that. Those are probably coming. Let me jump in here out of sequence. I was just looking through my recordings there. I realized there's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes that I completely lost. And the video is 2 seconds long, which means I double tap the record button. Dadgummit. I unboxed the components for the F3 is talking about that and where they go, and man, the thing's done now, so I can't, redo it. Look at that rain back there. Holy moly. So anyway, so I'm gonna bounce in, and there's a couple of things I talked about after that, so I'm just jumping in out of order. So because you're probably going, did I miss something? Yeah, you did. Quite a bit, actually. Like I say, I can't redo it. I mean, the parts are already on the bike, and dang, it's discussing everything where it goes. And man, sometimes you can do some things that just chaps your hiney. For some reason, I thought we were replacing the whole. I thought the module was built into the whole reverse or park brake thing with the pulley. It's just this module. I guess that's probably why they called it a module. A little tricky getting them screws, top and bottom of that thing. All the hardware's there. You just put it in. Here's the reverse actuator I showed you guys before. Got a bolt there, bolt there, bolt there. One plug in. Put the cable on before you bolt everything down. That's it. Easy peasy. I got a whopping 24 minutes to do all this. Fighting that little piece of hose to lift your master cylinder out of the way to get your oil filter out. It's just a clip now. How about that? Slip down in here. I don't think I can do it one-handed, but yep, it slips in just as easy as it comes out. No more dropping and losing that hose. Or I get them in, they're missing. The young ladies ready for a new home. That's pretty wild. There's gonna be one happy customer. The whole way going north. It goes from sunshine to these black clouds. You get soaked, pour down rain, and it clears off. Then you go into the next one. We're just on the other side of Kelso now, so we still got a bit to go. But we can see we're about to get wet again. So we're in said rain thing, but you can see the clearing. And now we're looking forward to that. I guess it's just a spring thing, huh? Sure is making everything really, really green out here, though. Well, she's back to creeping up again here. 479 for regular. Truck stop's busy as heck out here today. I like the little blue patches here and there. Not raining at the moment, but that could change real quick. It is always nice to hear all them diesels out there idling along. Reminds me of being a kid. We used to always ride our bicycles up to the truck stops. Look, that's one like moving, the series moving on. That one's like Smokey and the Bandit. It's not raining at the moment. Even the sidewalks are dry. What do you think there, Sasha? Do you think I'm coming to take you in? Here in just a little bit. Yeah, Mom and I gotta do a goodbye. Let me see if I can find something right quick to try to explain the question I was asked today. Let's see if I can work this up. Why is it you can never find something when you want it? it's a handlebar for a Spyder. It's like, I mean, they're all kind of the same. F3s are a little different, but what I was going to explain is all the same. I literally have seen this handlebar laying around in my mind recently. But at the end of Spyder handlebars, it kind of looks like a bar end weight, but it's more a little small. It's just a cap. But on the throttle side, because it's fly-by-wire throttle, let's use flirty here because it's got a kind of a big switch cluster, kind of like a Spyder. So the grip, if you were to take the grip off of one of these things, there's a cap on the end, and when it's a 5mm Allen bolt that you take out and the cap comes off, well, inside there is a collar and a spring, and that's all timed between the a groove in the handlebar, a groove in the grip. There's like a hole in the grip where all this goes together, because there's no, fly-by-wire doesn't really have a return spring. The return spring in this thing is actually in the fly-by-wire module that's inside on Harleys. Your Spyder is different. The Spyder is inside the housing, and it's hidden when you got it all clamped together. So if you take this grip off, you take it apart, yeah, you're going to realize right away you got a problem, because the spring doesn't go back in. So see if I can explain this in a way that makes sense. And so in the end, the first thing you're going to see is that spring and then a black collar that's around it. And to get that thing retimed, part of the spring goes into a groove on the metal handlebar within, and then on the inside, there's a hole inside the grip. If you take a flashlight, look down in there, you'll see a little hole, and that's where the front part of the spring goes in. Well, what you got to do once you've got that thing out of time is you have to loosen your grip assembly. The one that's in the center back here is actually protrudes into the handlebar, and that locks the whole switch assembly. Again, we're not talking about Harley, we're talking about a Spyder. So what you need to do is loosen all the screws. What I do is I just take all the little small ones out, and I just use that one locking one. So take that thing out until the grip assembly moves. You don't have to take the cover all the way off. You can just kind of push it forward enough that the thing comes free and it turns. So with nothing in there, to have your spring and everything out, turn the whole grip assembly so that the pin in the front of the grip, it's a coil spring, and then it has one little pin that goes forward, so that the pin inside the grip is lined up with the groove in the handlebar, because the hook in the spring that hooks in the handlebar and the hole in the grip, all of those are all lined together. So you're going to spin the whole switch assembly, which is going to turn your grip with it. Have the hole in the grip, the groove in the handlebar, and the little catch in the spring that grabs the handlebar. Have all three of those lined up. Very carefully slide the spring with the collar in there and get it in that groove. And before you turn anything, take your little cap with that 5mm Allen screw. I think it's a 6mm thread maybe. Screw that in just hand tight, and then very carefully don't push in, because now this grip assembly will move in and out. You don't want to push in too far, or you'll release the pin out of the grip again. So slowly turn it until that locking pin on the back side of the housing falls in there, and just kind of hold everything there and just lightly tighten everything. And make sure this cap you don't have to tighten it yet, just make sure it's all the way down, and you should have that nice spring back. Otherwise, the grip just freely moves. There's no spring. The return spring is in the end of the handlebar and the grip. So then once you're sure it's working, tighten that screw. Make sure you tighten that, because if that comes off, everything's going to fall out. And then just snug everything down on your grip housing. And remember, that center one is what pins it, for a lack of better terms, to the internal handlebar, and tighten everything down, and you got a snappy grip again. It's a little tricky to do. Don't get frustrated. Try it a couple of times. It'll work out, and you'll see that you're golden. Hope that helps. I'm not going to use your name. You sent me an email today, and I was going to try to find I think I got one of those handlebars at work too. There was a recall years ago now on those grip, or the bars being too thick, I think they were, and the the grip was sticking on them. So I was just using those things. You never know when you need a chunk of, I think it's aluminum, yeah, aluminum. But I do have one of those here. I made like a monopod or a hand grip thing, you know, like the GoPro floaties, you know, for your GoPros. I made one of those, and I was actually going to take that to the 2013 Spyder Festival. I forget what it's called now. I don't know if they even do it anymore. I remember I flew back to Springfield, Missouri to do that. And I was afraid to take it on the plane because of the metal and the grip. So ended up just using a GoPro little thing with an adapter on it. But anyway, I hope that helped you getting your spring and stuff in there. There's probably videos on that. I'm sure people have shown that. But a little tricky. The trick is to move the switch assembly and line the groove on the pin in the bar and the pin inside the grip. All of them lined together. Slide everything in. Put your little cap on and tighten it down. And don't let your grip move or the switch assembly move, because you'll just pull it right out. If you let that thing slide in, you're going to hear it go boing. So what you're doing is you're bringing it forward to align it, and then you're like preloading it by going back. All right, let's grab a little woman, do a goodbye. Well, hello there, YouTube. So Kelly thinks she's seen one of those handlebar things floating around somewhere too.
It's somewhere. I know I've seen it. I just can't think of where I saw it.
Yeah, it seems recent for some reason. That recall was like from 2012 or 2013, something like that, a long time ago. But I know I have one at work, so if that doesn't make any sense to you, I'll try to find the spring and stuff and try to simulate something, or I'll just pull the end off of a Spyder right quick. I think I got the steering stem stuff for those two RTs. Maybe I'll just yank one off the end of that right quick. They're all the same on the Spyders, but anyway, I tried to explain. I don't know if I did or not. I'll have to watch the video.
God, no, I confused them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made sense.
Yeah, lost a clip today. That really irks me.
Oh.
Going over the recall stuff there. Or it's not recall, it's the components. But
Yeah.
anyway, there'll be others. I still got the two RTs to do. So anyway, I think on that, we're going to bounce out on you.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And you guys have an amazing Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, before Sasha starts wooing again. She's definitely ready to go in.
Yes. Her little woo-woos.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.